Give me a second. All right. So I hope my screen is visible to all and I'm audible to everyone. So this is the project which we have created in our previous session. Okay, this is the complete project and we have taken a print out of that. I hope you will be able to do the same. Now today I'm just going to take a sample project, right? Okay. I'll be doing a bit faster today because I have already told you guys the everything. Okay. So let us create a simple WBS 3 to 4 steps. And this will also helps you to revise your previous concept, right? Previous things which we have seen in the previous session. Okay. So I'm taking here the foundation. I'll take the substructure. Substructure. And finishing work. So just 4 simple WBS labels here. And I'll go back to the activities. Let me just close this project so that it gets refreshed. And I'll reopen this project. So this is how the WBS looks like. Now it comes to add the activities in these, WBS. So in foundation, I'll add 2 to 3 activities. As I told you that this add button is used to create new activities. So I'll add 2 or 3 activities maybe. So the first one is excavation, ECC filling, reinforcement. All right. Shuttering and concreting. Okay, so this is how we have created 4 simple activities under the foundation. Now the duration depends on the scope of the work. Let's say you have to create 10 footings, then it will take less number of duration as compare when you need like more than 15 or 16 footings in your projects, right? So it totally depends like how much work is needed, right? Let's go and create some activities under substructure. Okay. Okay. So I'm just including now shuttering and concreting in single activity, right? Okay. Superstructure. Right. So this is done. At the end, MEP work. So this is how we have created a very simple basic schedule, right? Hope you understood, and hope you remember like when I discussed with you how to create all this, right? Now here I'm going to open one more sheet, which basically I have opened to give you an idea. When I discuss you that, I'll give you an I'll give you an example or like trick how you can calculate the total number of labors, right? If you have certain amount of work. Okay. So this sheet will basically helps you to estimate the number of resources, or you can simply say the number of labor resources assigned in your project. Okay. So before moving into this, let's go back and give approximate durations to these activities basically. Okay. So how it works, okay, let's say excavation is there. So just wanted to give you a basic understanding of mathematics, right? So let's say total excavation work is 500 cubic meter, and you have to estimate the duration. That means days. How many days will be required, right? So this is something which you are looking for. Okay. So first of all, this is the total scope of work is needed, right? Now, how many labors you have? How many labors you have, right? This is something which you have to find out first of all. If you have to calculate the duration, then you have to find out the number of labors you have first of all. And if you are doing vice versa, then let's say you want to find out, okay, how many labor resources are required, then first of all you need to confirm that in how many days you want to complete this work, right? Now the question comes is, we have these two unknown values, okay, and let's say we want to find out the labors, then we need to first have days. And if you want to find out the days, then first of all you need to have a labors, right? And let's say we are not aware of any of these things, then how the planning works? This is an important question, right? Because you, in the beginning, let's say you don't know any of these, how you will find out the second one? Any guesses, anyone? First of all, I would just like to ask from you guys. Okay, this is the concept of planning. Let's say you are aware like, okay, this is the work which you have to do. This is the value of the excavation work you have in your BOQ item. And to find any of these, you need second thing. Let's say you want to find out labor, you need days. In how many days you are going to complete? Let's say you have days, you want to find out the days, you need to labor. You need to have a labor. Then how do you plan? You don't have any of these value. Then what you will do? What will be your step? Come on, tell me. I want answers from you guys. At least try it. What will be your approach? I'm giving you one minute and think and tell me what will be your approach if you want to find out these things and you don't know. Interpolation. Okay. So how we will do that interpolation? Take this example only. Tell me. We definitely take a look. We definitely go ahead and you know uh, take take the experience from our previous projects. So there could be some parts, like there could be certain steps to do this thing. First of all, you need to have a productivity sheet. If you have a productivity sheet in your organization, you can estimate any of these values based on those, right? Second thing, based on your previous experience. Or the third and the very most common thing which is being used is to consult with the execution team, or to consult with the contractor who is working for the work, for this work, right? See, what happened is, you are a PWD, or let's say a client. You have given this work to some contractor. Let's take an example, L&T. Okay, take an example. Now you will call L&T and you will ask to this team how many labors you have for this particular project, right? This is how in commonly it works, right? And then you tell them that, okay, we need to complete this work in these many days, right? So first of all, you fix the days, or you can say the duration, and based on that you finalize the resources required to that. Understood? Now, why duration first? Okay, see, when you get a contract, when you get a new contract, what is known to you? The duration, correct? They mentioned you that, okay, you have to complete this work in 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, something like that. Now, what is the fixed component for you? Duration. That means time period. So this is fixed for you. So first of all, you calculate, okay, in these 2 years, okay, in these 2 years, that is approximately, okay, in these many days, I have to complete the entire project. So you break the entire work. Let's say you have these many activities to execute. You'll break all this work into 700 and 30 days, whatever the duration comes up. Okay, you will break it down. So you have got the duration. You'll get the duration for each and every work. Now you will go to the L&T and you will say like, okay, we have to complete the excavation in 10 days. Let's suppose. Then you will calculate, okay, in 10 days, how many labor resources will be required. If you want to complete the same work into 20 days, obviously you'll need less number of resources per day. If you want to complete this entire work into 5 days, you'll need more number of resources. So this work can be done in any particular duration. If you'll do it into less number of days, you'll require more resources. If you will do it into more number of days, you'll require less number of resources. Getting it? So the plan start from fixing the duration first, because that is something fixed to you by the contract. Getting it? When you get a contract, you get a fixed duration. Okay, this is the duration in which you have to complete the project. Now, according to that fixed duration, if they will ask you to complete the same work into 1 year, you'll deploy more resources. If they will ask you to complete the same work in 5 years, you'll deploy less number of resources. Getting it? So this is how it works. So once you'll get the duration fixed, meaning like days fixed, you'll calculate the labors. This is how it works. So let's say you want to complete this work into 10 days. That means every day, okay, every day, how much work you need to do divided by 10, 50 cubic meter work. Now you need to understand what is the capacity of one resource in your organization. Okay, if the capacity of one resource is 2 cubic meter per day, and total resources per day will be how much? 25. Getting it or not? Is this clear to all? This is how the calculation works. This is how the plan works to estimate the duration and resources. Make sense to all? Write down yes or no if you understood this. Three years, whatever. So duration is fixed for the entire project, 730 days. So you have total duration 730 days, and let's say you have to execute all these activities in 730 days. So what is your first plan? You will break down the duration of each and every activity, and the sum should be coming as 730 days. Right now, if you'll take a look, okay, if you'll take a look, okay, if I will give a relationship in these activities, and let's say for this entire project, the duration comes to be 600, or let's say 730. So this is the total time which you have, and you have to complete these all activities within 730 days, right? So you will break it down in such way. So let's say for excavation, you said, okay, we only have 10 days to complete this work. So first of all, you will fix the duration that we have to complete the excavation in 10 days. Now, if you want to complete this into 10 days, you will estimate the resources required as per this. Let's say you want to complete this particular excavation work, let's say in 20 days. So now see the changes. In 20 days, if you want to complete this work into 20 days, you only require to complete 25 cubic meter per day. And if 25 cubic meter per day, you will only need to deploy 13 resources per day for this particular work. If you want to complete the same work into 5 days, you'll require 50 resources to deploy every day. If you want to complete this work into 10 days, you'll require 25 resources per day. Make sense? So this is how the calculation of the logics works. Understood? Jay and Veera, have you understood, guys? For the same thing, we have this. So here we have different types of works written. Let's say you are doing this excavation manually. So if you are doing the excavation work manually, okay, and there are two things which will be asked from you. First thing, how much quantity you want to do. So let's say you said, okay, 500 cubic meter is the work. Total excavation work is 500 cubic meter. And you have to complete this work into 10 days. So if you have to complete this into 10 days, you will require, total 480 labors. Total 480 labors. This is not actually the persons. This is actually the, let's say I say like, okay, I require 5 labors per day. Okay. Let's say I said, okay, I require 5 labors per day and the total work takes 10 days. So 5 multiplied by 10 and that is 50. So this is how it is calculating. 48 labors per day and the work goes for 10 days. So 48 multiplied by 10 for 480 for the overall work. And let's say I say, look, okay, I just want to complete this entire work into 20 days. Okay. So you will require 24 labors per day. Make sense? So this is how this is calculating. The logic is same which I have told you here. Understood? So this sheet will help you to, calculate for any kind of work, for plaster work, okay, and let's say for foundation shuttering, column and pedestal shuttering, any work, you just need to put two things: quantity and how many days you need to complete this work. That's all. It will automatically calculate the number of labors. Make sense? Okay, so let's come back quickly and let us give it a relationship. So what I'll do, I'll give it a quick relationship, finish to start, and I will start it like this. Okay, I'll schedule it. And this is something which I have got. Okay, this is something which I have got. Okay, and let's go to the project and okay, we'll assign it to a bit later. So this is something which I have created in the previous session also. Remember, we just did the same thing. We created a WBS, we created, you know, we added activities, we have created, EPS, OBS, and we have finally updated the schedule. And you were able to see the delay. Clear? So now, today we have to talk about the resources, how we will assign the resources and how we will be able to see the cost associated, right? Let's say you want to track these two things also, resources and cost, then what? How you will do this, right? So for that, here's an option of resources. I'll click here on resources and I'll click here on add. Okay, so the entire list of resources will open up. And what I'll do, I'll go at the end. And first of all, I'll create just one dummy resources to make it understood like, okay, the name of like CICD, the project name. Okay. And then I will add few resources. So I'll add two resources here to make you understand. Okay. The first one is, let's say, labor resources, and the another one will be concrete. Let's say. This is a labor resource. So I'll select it as a labor. And this is a material, so I'll keep it as selected as material. Now the third option is non-labor. That is basically for the machinery. Okay. Please mute yourself. Now I'll select the labor and I will do some provide information. I'll provide some information. For the labor, calendar will be same, which is my project calendar, and the currency will be Indian rupee. And in unit and prices, you have to define like, okay, how many labor resources you have in your organization and what is the standard rate. Remember, you have seen the standard rate while creating a project in the beginning, in the starting. So maximum unit per time, I'll say, okay, I have 20 resources available in my project. This is something maximum you can provide a day, in a day. Okay. So 20 labors per day and standard rate per hour. Let's say I have given 100 rupees per hour. Okay. 100 rupees per hour is the standard rate for a labor. Okay. So I have defined the rate, I have defined the maximum unit. And similarly for the concrete. So see, one thing, either you are using MSP or you are using Primavera, one thing understand that for the material resources, there will be no maximum unit. So maximum unit, I'll give it as a 0. And a standard rate, let's say I have given 10,000 per unit. So I have defined the rate and maximum unit to these, you know, to these resources. I'll go back to the activities. Now, first of all, what I need to do, I have to define the durations. Okay. For the excavation, it's going to take, let's say, 10 days. And for the PCC, it's going to take 3 days. Tracing of reinforcement and this is going to take 5 days, 3 days. Okay. And again, it is going to take 8 days, 1 day, 6 days, 10 days, 18, and okay. So finally, let's suppose we have just given some estimated durations and we will schedule it again. Okay. So this is how this entire works looks like. Now, what we are going to do, we will be assigning resources to these activities. So to assign the resources which you have just created, you have to go to this resource tab. Okay. And you have to click here on add resources, and from here you can add these resources. So let's see. We will need a labor resources for almost all these activities. So I'll assign by selecting all these activities labor resources. All right. Now for the next resource, which is concrete, basically a material resource. So we need materials in here in this particular activity, and then here also, and let's say here also, here also. So we have assigned this particular material resource in some of the activities and labor resource in all the activities. Now, if you'll go to this resource tab again, see the very first activity, excavation. Okay. See the very first activity and see, as soon as you have added a labor resource in this activity, right? As soon as you have added a labor resource in this activity, you have got certain budgeted cost, just coming as 10,000, right? So how the system is calculating the 10,000 as in cost? Tell me. Any idea? You have done nothing. You have just created a resource, and for the resource you have given how much is the maximum quantity in your organization and what is the, you know, cost per hour. And you have just assigned that resource to this activity, and system has automatically calculated the cost required in terms of labor resources for this activity. So how it is calculated? Tell me. Any idea? Any guesses? How the system has calculated the budgeted cost? You have given 100 rupees per hour. So let's say I'm getting 100 rupees per hour, and in a day I'm working for 10 hours. So how much I will get in one day? Give me an answer. I've asked you the very simple question. Okay, so 1000, right? So in a day you'll get 1000 rupees. And if you'll see this activity excavation, then the budgeted unit per time denotes that how many laborers are working on this activity per day, right? So one per day means that this activity have one resources assigned per day. One labor is assigned to this activity per day. So if one labor is working per day and this activity is of 10 day, how many labors will be required after completion of this work? How many labors you will need in 10 days if you have one labors per day? One resources per day. So for 10 days you require 10 resources. Okay, and for one resources, one day cost was 1000 rupees. So for 10 resources, how much? 10,000. So that is how the system is calculating the total cost. If I will increase the resources here, let's say two resources per day. So see, it has automatically calculated the 20. Now two labors per day. So in 10 days, you will require 2 into 10, 20, and the total cost will be 20,000. Do you understand how this is working? You understand or not? Give me yes or no. Right? So this is how simple it is, right? Just have to create a resource, and you can define here like how many resources you required, and the system will automatically calculate you the the cost, total cost, and total number of resources. Okay, so we will simply give a budgeted unit, right? So let's say I have given I require 6 resources per day for the excavation. For PCC, let's say I required 3, and let's say for this work I required 6, and here I required, let's say, 3. I'm just right now targeting to the labor resources, nothing else. Okay, I'm giving it a random value. I have told you the sheet and everything. I have given you the logic how you can calculate the resources, and you can assign here. Right. So this is simpler logic, right? Now here I'm not going to calculate for each and every work because it will take a lot of time, right? So I'm just giving like this. Okay, so if you have seen, like I have given the duration, and I have given you know the number of labors and everything. It has automatically calculated the cost and all the things. So this is how the system calculates everything for you once you give the if when you add the resources basically. Okay, so hope you understood this. Now, how to update these values and how to monitor everything. So for that, you have these four sheets at the top. So let's say click on the first one. So here, if you'll see, activity wise, you have got the breakup. Okay. So if you'll take a look on the overall project, sample CI/CD project, this is the planned cost which will be required in the month of May, right? In this particular week, or let me just manage the timeline. So on a daily basis, if you need a cost, how much cost your project is taking. So see, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you are getting these costs. See, and how it is calculating based on the activities. See, these activities are being parallel here for some days, for these 2 days. So it is calculating the overall cost. This one and this one, 639,000, right? So similarly, the system, the system has calculating you the entire cost and everything based on these activities. Understood? This is how the software is powerful. Got it? And if you want to see the same thing in graphical form, you can click here, which you call it as S curve and all. This is how the curve looks like. And let's move for the resources. So okay, so where is our project? Yeah, this one. So if you will go here, okay, this is the labor resources which we have assigned. So it will show you, look, okay, per day, how much labor resource is being used in what activities and what is the total number of quantity. So see here, you are using 12 resources per day, here 13, 18, and so on, right? So this is how you can monitor everything. And if you'll click here, you'll get the same data in the form of graph. This black line is denoting what? If I'll manage the timeline here, in weekdays, noting the maximum unit which you have set it here. If you remember, you set here the maximum unit as 20 while creating a resource. So this is the maximum unit which you have, okay, which is available with you, and this is the unit which are assigned to the different activities in a project. So here, if you'll see in these particular months or the duration, in somewhere in the July, you are using maximum number of resources available with you. Is it clear? So yeah, and now we will be seeing like, okay, if we will update these things, then how the things looks like. But before moving, over to you guys. If you have any questions at this particular, and I'll assign this. So let's say going into the status, I'll say like, okay, I have started the excavation work, okay, on the date which I have planned, and till now I have completed this activity, let's say 50%. So as soon as I'll put the percentage complete here, you'll see like it will automatically take the cost. So 60,000 was the total cost which was required. And see, as soon as I have mentioned that I have completed 50%, it has took the cost 30,000. And if you don't want system to perform like this, not linked with here, if let's say I'm giving 40,000, so what is doing? Accepting this. So that means if you don't want that, okay, let's suppose in case it may also be the case that project is completed 50,000, sorry, project is completed 50%, or the activity is completed 50%, but the cost went more than that. 30,000 was something which was expected to complete 50%, but it took 40,000. So you can manually enter the actual value, whatever it has, it has taken. So this is how you can complete. So I have just told you by updating a single value here, right? So I'll go and schedule it at the end of this month. Okay. Yeah. So let me also short this so that, okay, like this, right? So you can see like based on this, you are able to see the overall progress each and every label, right? This is the percentage complete for this particular activity. This is basically for the WBS, and this is basically for the overall project. Now if you'll come down here, you will see here you have given 50%, and here it is taking it as an 80%. So let's do one thing, bring out some more column. Okay. Yeah. So here activity percentage complete. So this is 50% and this is 80%. So can you tell me the difference between these two? Project activity should be completed, like how much this activity should be completed. This is 10 days of activity starting on 23rd and getting completed on 1st of June. So within these 10 days it was completing like around 100%, like overall 100% was getting completed in 10 days, and you are updating it on 31st of May, so it should get completed to 80% till that day, but you have just completed 50%. Got the difference? Is it clear? Yes or no? Difference. Plan, but now you are able to see the actual also. See here, actual values, right? and it has automatically updated the units also. So if you'll go here and select the correct resource which you have. Okay, yeah. So now here, if you'll see, you're seeing the actuals also getting updated apart from the budgeted. So this is how the changes will come up. Make sense? Is it clear, everyone? Tell me quickly so that I can start the another topic. Tell me yes or no, guys. It's going to be the last topic of this tool. Okay, for now in this internship. So to create a new custom report, you will click here on this report icon. You click here on add new report, and you'll select the activities here. Only activities is required. Activity, and now you'll select column and what columns you want to see in your report. So I will say like I want to see the activity name, activity status, and I would say I wanted to see the original duration, so I'll go to the duration. Okay, original duration. So let's say the cost. So baseline total cost and actual total cost. Okay, and apply. Okay, so I just want to see these many things. I'll click here on next, give the title to your report. So I'll give like my PICD report. Next, click here on run report, print preview. Okay, so you can see this is how the report looks like. Activity ID, activity name, status, original duration, project cost, actual cost. I'll go back, go to preview, previous sections, and I just want to group these things based on, let's say, WBS, or let's say uh, project activity status. So I'll select here activity status, apply. Okay. So now let's move and let's see what is the difference. So you can see now it has bifurcated. Like first of all, you have completed activities, then in progress activities, and then not started activities, right? So this is how you can, create a report, custom report basically. So I'll say like, okay, next, next, and finish, and save this report. So you can go down here. Uh, so this is the CI/CD report. I click here, run report, and I'll click here to print this. This is how you can see your report. This is the custom report for the project in just simple clicks. Now, this is one time effort. You have created a report. You can go and you can print out this report for some different projects also. So let's say now this time this is the project. Go to report section. You can run the report, and it will give you the desired result based on the project which you have opened. Okay, understood? This is this Harbor Point project, and if you'll click the report which you have just created, this is for city center. So you can assign this report to multiple projects, and based on that it will give you the output. Make sense? Is it clear to everyone? Do let me know quickly so that we duration. I want activity, and I want actual total cost. That's all. Okay. And let's say this time I want to group it in based on WBS. Run this, and filter also I'll create. Okay. I just want to see the actual cost for completed activity, let's say. So I'll say like where activity status equals to completed. That's all. Okay. So now it will not give me the report for the entire activity. It will only give me the reports for completed activity. See, in each and every WBS section, the activities which are completed only, it has given me the report. Make sense?